What's your initial thoughts on the way you guys played as a team today?
I thought we played well. I thought we played hard, played extremely physical, and that was going to be important for us. We're going to need to establish a run game, and we did. So we need to prevent big plays, and I thought we did that as well. And, again, you could see glimpses of how dangerous they are. And of course, you got to make something happen in special teams, and Trevor Wilson's return did that too in the first half. So, real pleased. Obviously, there's times where in the second half, I'm guilty of probably judging those little snapshots at times when you're rotating a little bit more, and but again, this is a really good bounce back for us for this program, and I was, had my concerns, to be quite honest, that I didn't know how we could handle that because of last week, being disappointing in so many different ways. That to see us do that today I'm really proud of them.
Something you've talked a lot about is being able to control the clock with your offense. How pleased are you with the job you guys did there, and just generally, what impressed you most about the running game?
Yeah, I better look here before I comment on what the time of possession was. I mean, we still were in the 60s in plays. I saw at halftime, I think we had 36 plays. That was about a dozen away from last week's total, So it was kind of a flip there, and to see us do that. But with a high-speed offense and all the things that they were doing, we wanted to eat some clock even in between plays, but stay in a good rhythm. And I thought we did that, and those are things that Jason Bean has grown into and done a really nice job of that will never show up in one of these. And that's why he did what we asked him to do. We challenged, our offense, and we told the receivers it was probably going to be a run emphasis game, and they needed to accept that today and do their jobs on the perimeter, and I thought they did.
399 yards is pretty special, but to do it with Tony back, getting the Ring of Honor, Tony Sands back, to do that with him in attendance, I wonder if that makes it any more special.
Well, I asked him. Tony was in the locker room, and one of the first things I asked Tony if that was what he thought of our rushing performance today. Yeah, so Tony gave us a thumbs up. Yeah, so it kind of felt good. It might take it 3 to do what maybe he did back in his day, but it was a good performance, a great job up front. And, of course, I thought the 3 backs did an excellent job.
Yeah, Lance, I was going to ask you specifically about the O-line. There were several times where the running backs weren't even touched going through. What did you see from them?
Yeah, from my angle, it's kind of tough to see some of those, but I could hear Andy on the headset sometimes that, he could see how they were fitting things, and as the play was developing, he said it's going to hit again and things like that. So, they did an excellent job up front. Mike Nowitzki was limited most of the week, and Bryce Cable, who missed practice on Tuesday, ill. The 2 guards have been banged up. So again, you kind of keep working, and there they are, with that type of performance. And I mentioned the receivers, but our tight ends and the 3 guys that are rotating there in the job, it's really a collective effort there, and really, really proud of them.
You've made a couple comments throughout the season. You want to clean up penalties. Only 2 today, the lowest on the season. Just talk about.
Yeah, and the one late was kind of like, trying to push by. I think he had too big a running start probably, and that he probably could have pulled off the brakes. And then the other one I still have to look at as far as the alignment. But yeah, we did clean it up, and that's great to see. And again, when you keep yourself in good down and distance and you're not doing that, and on the flip side, I think they had a few, and they made it a little more difficult on drives, and it was tough to sustain, so it went to our advantage.
Coach, down on the field, did you already know that Trevor's punt return was the first for the program since 2014?
No, I don't get any of that stuff usually. I got it from Andy over here, those we walked off the field, I think it was, but yeah, most of those things never get to us, and that's okay. That's the way I like it, but it is good to see that. I don't even know. I'd have to think in my 17 years as a head coach if I've had a punt return, to be honest. And so it's a pretty big play. I was kind of, from my angle, I was like, he's not fair catching this one, but he made a lot happen. I thought we almost had one with Kenny Logan. And it's really bad because, Cole Petrus is blocking, and he's trying to get up and get back into play and help, and then he Kenny's trying to hurdle him, and we stumble there. But, again, big day in special teams.
Hey, Lance, just
Hey, Blair, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And it was great to see Glenn Mason and Mark
Yeah.
Mangino today. I just wanted to get your thoughts on having them here, and I heard they addressed the team.
Yeah, we had them by their arrival time yesterday. We did our meetings here yesterday, and Coach Mason addressed the group before our meeting started, and Coach Mangino did after. It's something Travis, as we talked about things, and not just bringing them back to be part of their players, Ring of Honor, but also I thought it was a great opportunity. I've had some interaction with them, as most people know, kind of through the interview process and even through my time here. So, again, appreciate all they've done for this program. I appreciate their support and also their insight on some things. And I think it's always good for players, whether or not they always know it at the moment, but to have some reflection about things that have come before them. And it was great to have, they both, it's interesting because, and I said this to the team, very, very rarely do I tell somebody what emphasis or something when I let them speak the way they want to speak. And it was amazing the similar things that they've said, but also ties into a lot of the daily things we say in our program. And sometimes, when you hear it enough from enough different people, it maybe has a better chance always to sink in. So it was great. I hope they had a great day today. I didn't have a chance to see them, so.
UCF is an offense that has put up yards and points against a lot of teams this year, under 400 yards for the first time. What was kind of the key for your defense to do that?
I thought we tackled pretty well today. First of all, first of all, I credit our defense for flying around, tackling well. I thought our coaches put a good scheme together. And then the next thing I would have to say is I look at what we went through last week, and I don't know how they practice or what they do, but here their starter's been injured. They bring him back. They think he's going to play, so they're probably getting him reps. And then all of a sudden in the first quarter, he's shut down again. And that's very similar to what we went through last week. And all of a sudden, time, whatever can that be? Sometimes it works out really well, other times it doesn't. I didn't, those deep vertical shots and all that, we didn't see as many of those, but you can still see the times where they're really dangerous with speed and quickness. And I thought we did a good job of corralling them in and holding some of that together.
I didn't see Jalen on the sidelines. If I remember correctly, last season he was on the sidelines at times when he wasn't
today
playing.
We just thought, under the circumstances, that he watched the game from inside. It was last year his injury was different. This one is if something happens on the sideline and there's quick movements and things, we just so we made that decision. But he was at the team hotel, part of everything. He was, at everything that we were doing. And then we brought him and Jameel Croft, who was also not dressed today. We brought them in early. So they didn't have to walk down the hill.
You talked about the run emphasis game, and no coincidence probably that Daniel had 19 carries. I mean, that's the physical back like he is.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry I didn't even look at it, Matt. Who had the most, but yeah.
No coincidence there. Or
well, I mean, it's probably like, let's get Daniel going. But again, Devin. They're both, they really complement each other well, and sometimes, it's tough when you have guys that make plays in different spots because you're trying to distribute touches. But I do think, not that I didn't ever before, but I think these two really understand how they complement each other and that they're good for each other. And then what was really neat at the end, it was, even though it was getting tough there where Dylan had a run, I think he got piled up and might have lost a few yards or something, and or maybe it was one right before we scored, and it was like he looked like he was kind of like just hobbling just for a second or something, and we're going to make it a switch. And then Daniel was like, no, leave him in. let them score, you know. So they're pulling for each other, and that's neat, and all those things. So, and again, Dylan McDuffie's in his last year. You know, he's with us at Buffalo. You know, he knew the circumstances when he came here. He's handled it extremely well. You can see that he can be productive as well, and we got to continue to find ways to get as many guys on the field as we can in different ways to make it tough on teams.
Real quick on Daniel, too. I don't know if your angle from the sideline is always as good as it can be to see that, but he seeks out contact. I mean, one time today he could have ran toward the sideline and he turned into a guy just to hit somebody. I mean, that's got to be something you like to see.
Runner.
Yeah,
he's a very physical runner, and as you know, sometimes, especially when you get in the second, third levels, you know how people tackle you and do things. So, and even when he doesn't always go down on the sideline either. He's got great balance. He's extremely physical and has very good speed. That's a pretty good combination, you know. But then there's, of course then there's Devin. We're just trying to get something. We thought we had a good chance in the right away first play, second half. I mean, that's the thing that I was really proud of. You come and make a big play because you talk about being up at half and keeping the pedal down and making things happen, and I thought we did.
Lance, last week was kind of all of a sudden with the whole Jalen situation. This week you had a couple extra days to prepare. You feel like that helped Jason and the offense as a whole to have a couple extra days
no doubt. I mean, that kind of takes the wind out of your sails, when it's right, as you're getting to the stadium, that there's question there. And now, Jason handled everything. He wasn't happy with the way he played last week. Thought he had a fine week of preparation. I think there were some things modified in the play, in the game plan, and again, he handled it well. I think we could have thrown more if we needed to. It's not that he wasn't. You could see him making the throws and making some things happen. I thought even when he ran the ball today, he ran different and better than he did last week.
Big stat today, 9 kickoffs, 9 touchbacks. How important was field possession and not giving them a short field?
I appreciate you asking that. Not many people ask about the kickoff guy. Tabor Allen does a great job for us, And again, we've talked about how dynamic and, between, speed and quickness that they have at UCF. So to have all those touchbacks was big, and it was great.